Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. So as you know, I'm doing a Night Goblin army for Warhammer, the Old World, and I wanted to add another boss to that army, and again something different to what I've done before. So I looked on Games Workshop's website, and I decided to go for a figure which is uh, a boss on a gigantic spider. And this is the spider part of it. It's a resin miniature, so it's required a bit of cleanup, but it went together quite nice. The legs just going into the underneath of the figure, but the base for this is for Age of Sigmar, and it works really well on that circular base. But on Warhammer, they have to be on 50mm square bases, and I will show you what the figure looks like on a square base. So here it is on a square base. I just used a bit of balsa wood, and as you can see, it extends too far out over the edges, which is pretty useless for when you're playing Warhammer. So I needed to find a way of obviously using this figure, but not having it in such a way that it would interfere with obviously when you're actually gaming. So the obvious thing to do was to try and raise the figure a bit to get it away from the base where obviously enemies or friendly units would be in contact with that base. I had a look on the internet, and so I came up with this idea, getting a rock from my garden. So this is the rock that I chose. It's a bit of shale actually. We have quite a bit of it over some parts of the garden to keep the weeds down. And I basically stuck it onto the plastic base with a hot glue gun, and it's rock solid, so that works really well. And now we can see how the spider will actually sit um, on that rock once secured to it, and obviously once painted. And I think that, as I say, I think this will work really well in order to be able to use it wargaming. Okay, so here's the spider finished. Not much to tell you really. I basically sprayed it black, and then I dry brushed it various shades of grey, going darker and then obviously lighter and lighter. I painted the skull motif on the back red. I painted the joints between the parts of the legs in red as well, and highlighted those. And then some of the pointy bits I basically did in, I think it was vampire flesh, and then highlighted with ivory. The eyes were picked out in red, and then they were given a coating of gloss varnish in order to make them shine a bit. Now you get a figure to ride the spider, hence why it's boss on gigantic spider, but I didn't want to use any of that within the packaging, so I created my own platform that a goblin would be stood on in order that he could obviously ride the spider. And so the next part really is to paint up the boss who's going to be riding this, and that's the next part of this video. Just quickly, the base was just done with sand, PVA glue, sand sprinkled over that, then painted brown, and then highlighted with lighter shades of brown, leaving the darker shade underneath the rock. So yeah, and then some grass tufts were added just to break things up a bit. I may add one or two other items just to break up the base a bit more. So let me just show the figure that comes with this miniature and the one that I'm actually going to use. So this is the figure that comes with the miniature, and he's quite thin, to be honest. There's not much to him at all. I believe that he's supposed to be a forest goblin, that forest goblins were a faction of the goblin army back when Warhammer was played. But at the moment they're not a faction. And of course I want to use a night goblin as the boss on this spider. So I basically looked through the stash that I'd got and realised that I'd got a figure that I think will work really well. So here he is, guys. I've already sprayed in black. This is a Goblin Fanatic, and I think that he should be like that, and he's got there's a metal ball at the end of this. The Goblin Fanatics are released from Goblin regiments, and basically they're fed madcap mushrooms and things like that, and they just go berserk basically, and they will spin round and release themselves towards the enemy, hopefully. They were quite fun in that they could actually release themselves back towards your own regiment and cause absolute chaos. So I thought he would be ideal, and what I'm proposing to do is that he's going to be hanging off the side of the spider. This is going to be attached to his platform, and he's going to be hanging off the side of the spider because basically the spider's rampaging across the battlefield, and he's unfortunately lost his grip or lost control of it, and hence why he's hanging on. So I'm going to paint this guy up, and then I will glue him to the spider and we'll have a finished result. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, so on to the final reveal. There's the goblin boss, night goblin boss, hanging on for dear life. Because there wasn't much colour in this, I decided to add a very colourful snail, and also a mushroom. It looks like it will bite your face off. So let's put this on the turntable and see it in all its glory. So here is the finished item. I had a lot of fun doing this, changing the figure out for the one that I've used. I think makes it so much more funny, which is what the Bad Moons or the Night Goblins were all about. I mean, they had snottling pump wagons, they had doom divers where they would launch goblins into the air and they would glide into enemy regiments and go splat. And then you had the Fanatics as well, where they would feed them with the magic mushrooms and then release them, hopefully at enemy regiments, launching them with a ball and chain, which is what this figure came from. As I say, a lot of fun. Just was so in the zone to paint this and to get it finished, and I think it'll almost be the centerpiece of my Bad Moon or Night Goblin army for Warhammer at the Old World. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks ever so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you had a good weekend. Look after yourselves, and I'll catch up with you soon.